Spider, good to see you again.
Good to be back on the show. How many times is this now? Two, three?
Third
Yeah.
time.
It's good.
Yeah, not the
Unlike
last time.
your, let's see, who it would be? Well, nobody will know this reference, but back in the olden days with the Johnny Carson Tonight Show,
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds was always on. Your dad would
Yeah,
remember that.
of course.
And so I'm your Burt Reynolds. I
There
think.
you go, exactly. So Spider got a new album that came out last year, and it's going pretty good, huh?
Yeah, cool album. Came out in October, Somewhere on the Other Side of Nowhere. And it's sort of a return to form, if you will, for the band. We sort of veered and experimented and stripped down and dismantled the machine. And for this album, we put it back together and sort of got back to that whole electronic science fiction, metal kind of sound. And people are digging it.
Yeah, a couple years ago I was telling you, hey, bring the space suits back,
That's
and
exactly.
a couple days ago, got it right.
You are completely responsible for everything. Not only did we bring spacesuits back, but robot helmets.
Sweet.
I don't know if you got to see the helmets.
No, I haven't seen them yet.
Well, maybe I'll give you an exclusive peek.
Ooh,
Yes.
there you go. So, new lineup as well, right?
I think it is since the last time we saw you, yeah.
No more Terry, Adrian, and Siggy.
No, you clean house every once in a while. You know this band, it's like every time we come through.
Not a surprise.
Yeah, no, it's not. But this band is pretty tight. It's pretty cool, and everybody fits the. I basically had to find guys that fit the robot helmets, and that's really was the main criteria for the band. Yeah.
Couldn't fit my head in there.
Pretty big head.
Yeah. I played hockey, only hockey helmets. They couldn't even fit either.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, well, what are you going
Sorry
to
hear
do?
that.
So besides, when you're not on the stage, you're in front of the cameras and interviewing a lot of people in the horror genre.
I'm doing what you do.
Yeah.
I do this FearNet thing where they send me out to talk to actors and directors and writers and stars of horror movies, and it's pretty badass. We get to go to Comic-Con every year and cover movies like The Human Centipede and things like that. Yeah.
A crazy movie.
Yeah. Have you heard of that?
I did.
Yeah.
I wanted to see it, but
I have it on the bus if you want to watch it.
you do.
Yeah.
Pirate it.
Yes, absolutely. But
So-
I didn't do it. It was somebody else who will remain nameless.
That's okay. That's okay. So George Romero, got to talk to him.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because Night of the Living Dead was a huge, big influence in my youth as probably one of the earliest horror movies I'd seen. So it was pretty cool meeting him. He has these crazy big glasses, like this big, Nice old guy.
That's good. So you're still doing it. I mean, gosh, 20
You
years.
sound surprised.
I am surprised. I was like,
you think I would pack it in by now, retire, pull up my wheelchair, and look, you know what? It's still so much fun, and with this new record, it sort of revitalized the whole project, and and it got the fan base really psyched about the music. So it's been a blast on the road this year.
Now looking back at the career of Powerman 5000, started off with MC Spider.
That's right.
Yeah, remember those days?
Of course, I remember those days. Yeah.
And now looking back, what was your favorite kind of genre that you went for?
Well, I'm a fan of all kinds of music, as evidence of the weird eclectic mix this band is. But the two forms of music, I think we probably talked about this before, was growing up was punk rock as a kid, the Clash, the Ramones, and all that stuff, and then discovering hip hop. It was basically finding any form of music that I didn't really need to be that talented to create.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it gave me an excuse to convince myself that I could actually make music as well. But then electronic music and country music and pop music and metal and it's just all sort of throw it in the pot and mix it up, and that's sort of what we do.
Yeah, exactly. So you've been doing this for a long time, and this tour, how'd you prepare for it?
Oh, well, we rehearsed once. Yes.
Once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah, rehearse once. And
Look, if we don't know the songs by now, there's really no point in doing this. We really, it's interesting. We prepare as little as possible, but I think that pays off for us. Some bands like to rehearse a lot and overthink it, and we just sort of come out and let whatever happens happen on stage.
Exactly. Now, on each of your albums, you always have these little voiceover intros telling stories.
Right.
And did you do that on the last one?
Yeah, of course. We have some sort of narrative moments. It's a vibe thing, and it's interesting. I was thinking about this, the fact that the sort of album culture is dying and everybody's sort of buying single songs, and it's sort of hurting, because I always like to put records together with intros and interludes and voiceovers, just because it creates this more of a cinematic feel to the albums. But now that people are only interested in sort of cherry picking songs, it sort of defeats that purpose. But we did it anyway.
Yeah. And a lot of viewers, on iTunes that are reviewing your album, they're like, wow, this is the Powerman that we love. We started off, you're not doing that punk rock stuff. You're going back to the electronica.
Yeah. It's very nice to get the positive fan response, because what happens a lot of times is when you put out a record, everyone hates it at first, and then 6 months go by and it grows on them and they like it. And when this record came out, it was sort of the opposite. It was almost from the moment it came out, the response has been pretty much overwhelmingly positive. So I think that's a good thing.
It is.
Yeah.
And Super Villain, you guys did a single for that, and also the music video. We'll watch it in a little bit.
Oh, yes.
Got an actor in there, Jonathan Schreck, huh?
Yeah, that was interesting. It was sort of like that whole video came together so fast. It was sort of just like friend of a friend said, hey, I'll do this, and I know him, and he can come down. And we just sort of like threw this green screen up and just goofed around, and it ended up having this sort of, when I watch it now, it's sort of like a weird 80s, like sort of like cheesy green screen, cheap effects kind of a thing. But it's cool. It's got a vibe to it. And yeah, and of course, Jonathan Scheck from, what was the name of that thing you do?
And Prom Night. He was in
Prom
there.
Night. Yeah, Prom Night, of course. Really cool guy. Just came down and spent a couple hours hanging out.
That's cool. All right, man. So you want to go ahead and introduce the video here?
Yes.
On the Vinnie Langdon Show?
This is our newest video for a song off the album Somewhere on the Other Side of Nowhere, and it is called Super Villain.